you ever felt like your own mother doesn't really like you, you are not imagining it, and you are definitely not alone. A lot of us grow up looking to our mothers for love, safety, and acceptance, only to be met with criticism, coldness, or silence. And it hurts, because something in us keeps thinking, if I try harder, maybe she will finally see me. But here's the truth that's hard to hold. A mother who never received love can't give what she doesn't have. If your mother didn't get emotional safety, warmth, or validation from her mother, she may not even know what it looks like. It's like asking someone to speak a language they were never taught. They might get frustrated, defensive, or even resent you for asking. In some families, this goes back generations. If your grandmother carried the pain she never healed, she passed that emptiness to your mother, and your mother, without healing, may have passed that same pain to you. It's not an excuse, but it explains a lot. And here's the hardest part. You can't make someone give you what they never received, not even your mom. You can't force her to become emotionally available if she never learned how to be. That doesn't make you unlovable. It just means her wounds got in the way. The love you wanted, you may have to give it to yourself now. I know it's not fair, but it is possible. You get to become the safe.
Hi guys, welcome back once again to my YouTube channel, and in today's video we are going to be talking about mothers who hate their children and why sometimes they hate their children. And I would like you to watch the full video to know more about this. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.
Catch it that your mom is your biggest hater is she's created an ambivalent environment around you. They are nice today, mean tomorrow. Nice today, mean tomorrow. They cause a lot of confusion in your head. Safe people are always predictable. They are predictable in their values, in their priorities, in their reaction. Even in negative situations, safe people are predictable. Ambivalent behavior is the reason why a lot of women do not notice that their mother's their biggest hater. Today she gives you a backhanded compliment. Tomorrow she criticizes this. Tomorrow she buys you this. So you think, oh, she can't possibly hate me because she bought me this one thing and she did this one thing. But then she's also chipping at your self-esteem bit by bit by bit. Just because someone is a mother, it doesn't mean they're not capable of the catty, weird behavior. A lot of women, once they get into old age and they see their kids becoming women, becoming adults, it rubs them the wrong way. If they're not mature enough, if they're not loving enough, especially if they were male-centered when they were dating and they're still male-centered, they're probably their child's biggest hater. And I'm telling you this from experience. The first backhanded compliment I ever got was from my caregiver. Not from a hating friend, not from a random person. And I still get those types of comments. The reason why you struggle to catch when other women hate you is because you were living with a woman who was hating on you, was trying to sabotage you, was trying to make sure you don't learn anything about bettering yourself, your appearance. And I'm telling you this as someone who was never told how to better my appearance. This is anything you see, I did on my own. Anything you see on me, I did on my own. I never had anyone to hold my hand and say, do it like this, do it like that, do it like that. In fact, when I got really fit, it rubbed a lot of people who I thought cared about me the wrong way. Saying things like, who do you want to see your body? Why are you so particular about your body? Why are you so particular about this? A lot of women do not realize they are staring at their biggest hater. They are cutting bread with their biggest hater. And you don't realize it because of the ambivalent connection that you have.
Yes, there are mothers who really act like that with their children. Sometimes they are really nice and sometimes they are really mean to their children. And this sometimes confuses the children. They fail to know if their mom really hates them. But the truth is, if you are a child and you are in such a confusion, the one thing you have to understand is that you have to pay attention to your intuition. If your intuition is really telling you that your mother really hates you, you need to listen to your intuition, because your intuition in most cases, it never lies. You have to follow your gut. You have to trust your gut. If your gut is telling you that your mom really hates you, you don't have to think twice, because in most cases, your gut never lies, and you have to follow that. And you have to understand what to do next if you get to know if your mom really hates you, because that really happens. Sometimes such moms, they're so manipulative. They know exactly what they're doing. They know that they really hate their children, but they always want to do something nice so that they can confuse them, so that they can keep them around, so that they can continue hurting them with so much hate. Because by hating their children, they always feel good. Sometimes they really want to hate their children so much because this helps them to feel good. In most cases, people who hate others, they really feel bad about themselves, and they don't want to feel like that alone. They want their children to also feel bad like the way they feel, because that makes them feel good. Loves misery, loves company. And it's so sad that such mothers exist, but they really do exist. And people have to understand that mothers like that do exist. Even if they do good things for you and you feel like they hate you, it means that they do hate you. You have to trust your intuition.
Some of us have haters for parents. Let me cook for a second. Some of us, we have haters for parents, and because they're our parents, we refuse to see them in the light. Some of us have parents that are envious of us. Some of us have parents that are jealous of us. Some of us have parents, right? And we have siblings that can't mess with us on any level, but your parents secretly wish that your siblings were as successful as you are. They wish that your siblings were as lit as you are. They wish that your siblings were as perfect and grand and extravagant and as talented and successful as you are. And they secretly hate you because the other kid didn't turn out to be you. You ever wonder why they always cheered for them, why they always encouraged them, why they're always there for them, but you had to figure it out. You had to go the hard way. You had to jump through the obstacles. But what they didn't know was that these same obstacles made you a monster. These same obstacles are the reason why you are the way you are, because
some mothers will hate their children who are more successful than the other children, because when they were growing up, that mother neglected and failed to love this child who is so successful, because she was loving the children who are not successful more than this child, thinking that the other children will get more successful. But when they grew up, she realized that the child she abandoned, the child she neglected, the child she did not love is more successful than the other children. And this always hurts that mother all the time. And instead of loving this child, the mother ends up hating the child, because the success of this child reminds her of their children she loved so much who didn't turn out to be so successful. That's why such a mother ends up hating the child who is more successful, because the moment she sees this child becoming more and more successful, the success of this child reminds her how the other children she really loved so much and adored are not successful. And you realize such mothers, when they are raising those children, they always show much support to the children they love, and they neglect this child that they don't love. And you realize that such a child is always trying to figure it out on her own to find ways of getting successful. And sometimes when this child gets successful, this annoys the mother so much, because the mother remembers all the efforts she put in to help the other children she loves so much to get successful, and all her efforts didn't pay off. And this alone also annoys the mother so much, and instead the mother ends up hating the child who did it on her own without her support. And for some reason, sometimes such children who are neglected, who are hated by their mothers, even if they are successful, they tend to be in denial all the time, thinking like, okay, because I'm successful, maybe my mother will love me for being successful. They try to show their mothers that can help them. They can also help out the siblings who are not successful, but their mothers will continue hating them. And if you are a child and you're going through this, I think sometimes you have to get more closure about what you're going through, so that you can find a way of dealing with your hateful mother, because you don't need to entertain such hate in your life. What these children don't understand, but by doing so, you are even making your mother hate you the more, because this is a challenge. You're challenging her, you're reminding her of all the mistakes she did while raising you and the other children. The mistake she did was to love the other children more than you and helping the other children more than you, and now these children are not successful and you are successful. So the more you try to show her that you are helping the other children, you are helping her because of your success, the more you're going to make her hate you. And that is why such children get confused and they're always asking themselves, why does my mother even hate me so much when I'm even helping them? This has nothing to do with you. It is your mother, it's not you. And you have to understand that if your mother cannot become better, you don't have any choice but to let go and start your own life. And also, such mothers who hate you because you're more successful than your siblings, they tend to bring the other siblings together and they make them hate you also the more. So you're going to realize that not only does your mother hate you, but also your other siblings are hating you, and you're wondering, where is this hate coming from? It's because your own mother is also encouraging them to hate you, and you realize the hate comes from your mother. And there are some people who always feel like their mothers don't love them, but then they downplay this feeling because they think that this kind of thing can never exist between a mother and a child. And so because they are craving for the love of the mother, they always think that one time their mother can really show them love, which sometimes will never exist. I think such a person has to allow that sometimes you will be having a mother who doesn't know how to love you right, and you have to just understand how you can start healing from such a situation, because most people are so heartbroken when they realize that their mothers don't love them, and this can really torture them. So if you realize that your mother doesn't really love you and you feel that she doesn't love you, you have to accept that. And when you accept it, you have to start your journey of healing from the trauma that is caused by a mother who really hates you.
Felt like your own mother doesn't like you, I'm going to explain to you why this is. Many of us look for validation, acceptance, love from our mother. And if your mother never received those things from her own mother, she doesn't know what those things look like. When you're asking someone to be a safe space for you, to take responsibility, to love you and be there for you in a way that you need, if they themselves have never received that, you're like asking them something in like a different language. They don't even know where to start. And the reason a lot of mothers don't like their children is because their mothers didn't like them. And this is a very difficult and real truth that is in the area of generational trauma, because if your grandmother was someone who herself had trauma, herself didn't receive that safety, love, validation, emotional support from her mother, she couldn't have given it to your mother. So your mother ended up having a void within her that was never filled. And now that void is filled with trauma, pain, and suffering that she doesn't even know how to look at if she hasn't self-reflected. So how do you expect someone who has never received what it is you're asking for to give that to you? The only person that could fulfill that void within you is yourself. You can't ask someone who's never gotten love to love you because they don't even know what that looks like. You are the only one that can fulfill that void within you and validate yourself.
If you are that type of child who has a mother who hates them, you have to understand that you are not alone. And then you have to understand that your mother will never love you because they don't know how to love. In most cases, you find these mothers, even them, the mothers who raised them, never showed them love. The mothers who raised them were hating them, and they don't know how to do it better. Much as you like them, your mother to love you the way you want her to, she cannot do it. You cannot expect her to give you something which she really doesn't know how to give, because she doesn't have it. All she has is hate, because it was brought about by also her mother, who really hated her. So you can't force that to happen. That is why if you are a child and you're going through that situation, you have to always accept that this cannot happen, and you have to start a new life, and that new life of healing from the hate caused by your own mother, because it's really not easy. It's hard to deal with. If you see children going through such a situation, they are really going through a lot, and it's really sad to watch.
Anyone else's mom actually know how to suck the life out of them? Because I was having the best day of my life today. I was in such a good mood, so happy. Such a good day today. The second my mom comes out, because she's going on a bike ride, she just has to say the most. She is rage baiting me. I swear to God, my mom rage baits me on purpose. Because now I'm in a bad mood. Now my head hurts. Now I don't even want to go to the gym. I was in such a good mood. And she'll just say stuff. First thing, she comes to my car. What are you doing? I was like, oh, I just got back from work. You were only at work for that long? Your eyelashes, awful. Take them off. Why do you look like that? What are you doing on your phone? This, that. You have to do this. What's that inside? Let me breathe.
Some mothers who really just enjoy to see their children feeling so bad and feeling so miserable. Every time they find their children, they don't have anything nice to tell them. They're always complaining. They're always trying to criticize them. They're trying to put them down all the time in their wants. You realize that whenever those children meet up with their mothers, there is nothing good their mothers have to say. It's always something that is so negative. Sometimes the children start feeling like as if their mothers hate them. And if you also, you may think like someone hates you. Imagine whenever you're with someone is always criticizing you, someone is not supporting you, someone is just putting you down all the time. Sometimes that means such a person really hates you.
Do you think your mom hates you? Have you ever wondered to yourself, why does my mother hate me so much? Hi, I'm Tierica, and I'm helping you heal relationship trauma one issue at a time. Does your mother criticize you to the point where you feel that you can't do anything right? Did she abandon you, neglect you, or even abuse you physically or verbally? Does she compete with you, try to sabotage your success, or even accuse you of things that you would never do? When you have a mother who does all of those things and makes you feel bad all the time, it's only logical that you would believe that she hates you. But it's not true. Your mother doesn't hate you. She's treating you badly because someone treated her badly in her life. Let me tell you what happens to a little girl who is abused. That abuse takes root inside of her in the form of toxic energy. That toxic energy was poured into your mother so much that she can't contain it. And even though she's now a mother, she has an instinct to give it away. She doesn't know any better. The abuse programmed her mind to give away the same abuse. She can't help it. When you're consistently abused, the abuse changes your brain. It's like a mental disorder. I've even spoken to one woman who openly admitted that she didn't like her daughter. When I asked her why she didn't like her daughter, she said, I don't know. And then she told me that her mother treated her the same way. So it became an instinct. You didn't deserve that. And please understand that the abuse was not personal to you. If she knew how to love better, she would have done better. But she can't. Instead of looking at your mother as a woman who intentionally tried to damage you because she hated you, instead look at her as a woman who was damaged and she can't do anything about it. Now it's your turn. Acknowledge that you've been damaged.
A mother who is constantly making her children feel bad, constantly criticizing her children in order to make them feel so bad. A mother who is constantly sabotaging her children's success. I think this is a mother who really hates her children, because anyone in life who really is trying so hard to make you feel bad in life, trying so much to hurt you, I think that is a person who really hates you, because such things are not done by someone who loves you, because the opposite of love is hate. If someone cannot love you, it means they hate you. So a mother who does that, I think, is a mother who really hates her children. I don't think we should give excuses for bad behavior, as some people who always say like, oh, because your mother was not treated well, you have to understand that's why she's not treating you well, that's why she's hating you. I think every person, when they become adults, they have to think independently and they have to act independently. So if you really have strong love for your child, in most cases, you find ways to get help so that you can be a better mother to your child. That's why some women, if they're not treated well by their parents, they grow up and they seek help because they don't really want to hurt other people like their children. And so when they seek help, they become better people, and you find like these people can turn out to be very good, loving mothers, because they don't want to do what their mothers did to them. When it comes to their children, they know their mothers did not treat them right, so they know better, so they are determined to treat their children with love and respect. And that is why I don't give excuses for mothers who don't treat well their children. It means they're just hateful, they don't care about their children, they don't love them at all. Also realize that some children who are hated by their mothers, but they always give excuses for their mothers' bad behavior, because for some reason they always think like their mothers are right even when they are hurting them. They're always just in denial all the time.
Sometimes you just have to accept that your parents don't love you. They don't. They say that they do, but they don't act like people that love you. They don't do nice shit in the ways people that love you would do. They're not consistent in ways that people that love you would be. They're abusive, and they quite literally hate you and don't care if you live or die. And sometimes you just have to learn to be okay with that and grieve the relationship that you thought you would have with them and then move on with your life. And that is what I'm doing. I'm in the process of doing that, and it kind of makes me really fucking miserable, but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody has to face reality, and it's going to be me. It's going to be me, because I cannot have my abusers in my life anymore. I can't try to make it better. I can't. I wanted to be loved by them so badly, and some very sick part of me still wants that. And maybe not sick, I think just normal human. Every child wants to be loved by their parents, but mine don't love me. They don't treat me like people that love, respect, adore me. No.
And again, you realize there's some mothers who are so manipulative. They always tell their children that they love them. Then when it comes to the actions says something else. You realize like such mothers, they do it on purpose to confuse their children. When it comes to the actions, they don't treat their children well. They treat their children so bad. But whenever you find them, they always say that they love their children. And they always do this just to show society that they're good mothers. But in actual sense, they really don't like their children and they hate them, because actions speak louder than words.
A lot of our mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, and etc., they never wanted to have children, especially daughters. A lot of them wanted to coexist with a man, hunch raw, and just live life. And even when we go back to the 90s and the 2000s, sending the child back to heaven was heavily looked down upon. And adoption was viewed as if you're selfish. But what's tea is a lot of our mothers only kept us because they were more concerned about what people would think about them. They didn't want to be viewed as a horrible mother, but meanwhile, they continuously neglect their child, and their child is put in horrible situations. That daughter is being taught that same hate that the mother possesses. That daughter is being taught to hate herself, to hate her appearance, to hate her body shape. A lot of these types of women are pick-me's. So in her mind, it's her daughter's fault for all of her failures. In her mind, it's her daughter's fault for all of the failed relationships. Because in her mind, she feels that if she would have never had a daughter,
it's true that some mothers who really hate their children because they didn't even like to have them in the first place. And that is why I always tell people, like, if you are not ready to take on the responsibility of being a mother, you better not do it, because it's not fair to give back to children and then you start hating them because they don't have anything wrong they did. That is why it's better for women to wait until they're ready to give back to a child to do so.
Your biggest hater is probably your mom, but you don't want to say it out loud because you feel bad about it. Listen, stop having shame and guilt about knowing for sure that your mother, that your father, they just don't like you. What you have to do is learn how to heal and learn how to grow and learn how to build a life knowing that that relationship is never going to be what you want it to be. I know how that feels. I know deep down inside how you want someone to change, how you wish things were different, how you've done enough healing work and working on yourself to really meet them where they are, and they are still meeting you back there. It is not fair. You didn't ask for this, but the reason why you are not getting to the places where you want to go, because those little voices inside of you that are saying that you're not good enough, that you don't have the self-confidence, that you should do better. All of those little voices, that is just your emotionally immature parent that couldn't give you the nurturing and the love that you needed when you needed it, so you can survive and so that you can thrive where you are at now. So I am telling you this with an open heart and just love, to grieve that relationship the best way that you can and keep focusing on.
If you are a child and realize that your mother doesn't love you, you have to accept that your mother really hates you, and you start your healing journey. You can't keep on staying in denial all the time, because the best thing is to accept that your mother will never love you, because such mothers who hate their children, it's hard for them to love them.
Mom and I got into an argument about toys, and it somehow escalated into her telling me that nobody is ever going to love me and nobody is ever going to marry me because I'm too strong. And I was like, you know what? If no one ever marries me because I'm too strong, like, I'm okay with that. I would hate to lessen myself. And my mom told me, Victoria, you are already less than yourself. I had to stop the conversation right there, because my mother is always telling me that I need to criticize people less. And I was like, how come you can tell me that, but then have all this endless criticism for me? But then for other people who are worse off, you have all of this grace and unconditional love that I just don't get. And you know what else I realized? Like, everything that my mother absolutely hates about me are qualities that I get from her. And I'm talking physical traits, and I'm talking personality traits, things that I do that make me more like her.
It's sad to hear that mother of this woman in this previous video, everything the mother hates about her are the same things that the mother has. And maybe sometimes some mothers, if they have something they don't like about themselves on their bodies, and they realize that even their child has them things, sometimes they end up hating, looking at their children, and then they end up hating their children so much because their children remind them of that physical imperfections that they have on their bodies. And also sometimes mothers can really hate their children because they're in secret competition with their children, in case their children have physical features that look like them, but now their children are younger and they look better. Sometimes some mothers are competing with their children, so they will hate their children so much because they feel like their children are looking better than them. And when it comes to the character, I think why such a mother can be hating the character of the child, yet she has the same character, is because sometimes they want to be the ones on top all the time.
And my mom has been my number one hater. I hated my curly hair. I hated it. I hated my curly hair, and I finally realized who made me hate my curly hair. It was my mom. And this goes back to my childhood, because when I was a kid, I remember she used to always call me charraluda. Charraluda is a girl or woman that does not take care of her hair. But my mom never sat down and actually brushed my hair, or, you know, my hair was unruly. Honestly, it was unruly. It was curly, it was long, it got tangled easily. And she made me hate my hair. She used to always embarrass me in front of people. Mira que charraluda te ves. You know, look how charraluda you look. And so, growing up, I hated my hair. I absolutely hated it. I did everything under the sun to get rid of the curls. When I got here to the United States, I discovered flat irons. And then I discovered relaxers. And I used to go to primarily black women hair salons, so that they could do a relaxer on my hair, only to end up with really broken, damaged hair in the end. I I spent so much energy hating my curly hair that it was such a waste of energy. You guys remember the movie Dirty Dancing? Well, Dirty Dancing, I love that movie because I identified to the girl's character's hair. I was like, finally, somebody that kind of looks like me, because back in those days I was a lot younger. But then, mid to late 90s, Hollywood came up with this sleek, straight hair, and I tried to recreate that straight hair. You know, honestly, you gotta love who you are. At the end of the day, you gotta love who you are. And every now and then I show up at my mom's house like this, and the first thing she'll say to me is, you didn't.
I've said this pretty often and I will say it again, but if someone loves you, you will know. If your parents love you, you will know. If your parents love you, you will feel it. You will be able to feel it. They don't even have to say it. They do say it, but they don't even have to say it. I remember my little brother once told me, like, as a child, he really thought my mom hated him. And a lot of these parents will be like, oh no, I don't hate you. Da-da-da. You do. They can show you with their actions, their words, with literally everything, body language. It's in there. It's in everything. And some parents might not hate you because they want you. They hate you because they hate themselves. And they can't love you. And that's so unfortunate for you. But yeah, I've said this pretty often. And
to wrap it off, guys, you have to understand that really there are mothers outside there who hate their children so much, and sometimes children will never allow that their mothers hate them so much because they are living in denial, because naturally children think like their mother's love is automatic. Even society always thinks like your mother is supposed to automatically love you, but this does not happen to some children. Some children are not lucky enough to get mothers who naturally love them. Some mothers really hate them so much. And if you are a child and you find yourself in such a situation and you feel like your mother hates you, and you have that feeling and you see her, everything she does, she's trying to hurt you, she's trying to hate you, you have to accept that really your mother hates you. The moment you don't accept that, you'll be hurt the more, and this will really affect you all your life, and you'll be miserable and unhappy. You don't deserve that. This has nothing to do with you. You are a good person and you're not supposed to be treated like that. You either talk to your mother and make her understand that whatever she's doing, it's not right for her to hate you. If she can't listen, then you have to start your life without her. You have to learn how to live without your mother. I know it really hurts to separate, but in most cases, if you have such a mother, it's not healthy for you to stay with her. And again, mothers who hate their children so much, if you realize that you really have a problem, you have to seek help. You have to find ways which can help you to become a better person so that you can be a better mother to your children, because children don't deserve that. Children deserve love because they have nothing wrong they did. Or you need to figure it out. So if you get a chance to notice that you are not doing well and you have to get help, you need to do that, because the children in most cases need you. They need your love. You don't have to give up on your children. Mothers should stop hating their children. It's not really a good thing, because you find some mothers who are so proud of what they're doing, who are proud of hating their children, and they always say it in public that they hate their children, and you wonder, why could a mother do that? I think it's not really a good thing. Mothers should try to do better. If they feel like they are not doing well, they have to seek for help so that they can heal. And children who always allow their mothers to treat them so bad and they don't hold them accountable, they're always affected by their mother's negative energy. And so the more they entertain that energy, they end up becoming like their mothers. And sometimes such children will be thinking like they are being nice to their mothers. They don't want to neglect their mothers. Their mother is their mother. So even if their mother hates them, they'll still try to understand them. When children allow their mothers to continue to treat them in a hateful way, they end up becoming like their mothers, and they end up also treating their children like that. And it's not really good to continue that cycle. So if you are a child and you have such a mother, you have to always remember, like, it has to stop with your mother. You don't have to continue the cycle of hate. So it's best to either hold your mother accountable so that she can stop acting like that. If she doesn't like to change, then it's better for you to move on and start your healing journey, because your children you're giving birth to, they deserve a mother who is so loving. So you need to detach from a hateful mother so that you can start a new life which is full of love. And that's it for today, guys. If you have anything to add on this topic, you can share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It's been your girl Joanne Complete. As always, I would like to wish you a wonderful day. Take care of your beautiful lives. Until next time, I love you guys. Bye.